I have done enough talking about this collet shock in a previous video, so now it's time to mount this to that, and that will then be mounted to this spindle, something like this. Wait, that's not right. First this block of steel will be mounted to that spindle, and then this collet shock will mount to this block of steel. Yeah, that is how it's going to be. Well, let's go to the Chinese lathe, because unlike this, that can cut thread. I owe you guys a little test with my boring bar holder, or internal turning tool holder, whatever you want to call it, fine with me. So without the two extra set screws I put in, this is going to happen when you start out a little low. You tighten up the set screw, the tip comes up a little, but it is still below center. I hope you can see that. I'm not exactly sure how level the camera is with the center height of the lathe. Now let's try it again, this time starting a little high, tighten it up, tip comes down to pretty much center height, not bad. But the result might vary with the other set screws. This, by the way, is a normal brand new set screw, so no modification done on a grinder. Starting a bit low, comes up, and it is still way below center height. Starting a bit high, tightening up the second set screw. It actually doesn't come down, because that is a modified set screw. Okay, this time I placed the unmodified set screw in the second hole. Starting a little low, see what happens. It comes up, and it is still below center height. Starting a bit high, tightening it up, and it's above center height, just a little. So now I'm going to set the center height using those two extra set screws I installed. And the tip comes up a bit. I think that's about where I want to have it. I'll tighten down the other one as well. I think that's about right. Maybe just a hair higher. Now I'm going to tighten up the other ones. Okay, with all the set screws tightened up, I'm going to take out the one furthest away from you guys, and I will use some glue to fix it in place. And I know the set screw is a bit sloppy, but I found that a hammer will fix that easily. I put some glue on the set screw. That rhymes. So when that glue dries up, it should be pretty easy to get the tool back to the height I want. As you can see, the chuck is back on the lathe, and the first order of business is doing a facing cut After that I will flip the workpiece around so it can sit securely against the chuck jaws. So what do you think? 500 RPM? Or is that too much? Yeah, it'll be fine. Here we go, stand back. I wonder if I should dial it in before I face it off. There was a bit of a wobble. Well, I'm not going to bother dialing it in. It should all be turned in one operation anyway, so a little bit run out shouldn't matter. Very acceptable. Let's flip it around. I flipped the lump of steel around and now you can see the same thing again. Perfect. More needs to come off later, but I guess this cut was only so that the center drill wouldn't skate around on that rough cut saw finish. Alright, let's make a center hole. Up next is a 4mm drill bit to make a pilot hole. This is actually the same drill as you might have seen in the previous video. One of those Banggood cobalt drills. Well, that's not long enough. I'm going to have to move the drill bit a bit. Just for fun, let's try out Stubby, the star of my drill bit advertising video. It didn't do so well on the drill press. And I'm curious how it does on the lathe. I didn't do any regrinding. I think we should also run it at the same speed to keep things fair. Alright, here we go. Let's see what it does at a slower speed. Maybe a bit better. Those flutes were definitely ground uneven, judging by the different sized chip. But I think it wasn't too bad. At least it worked a lot better than on the drill press. If that damn Banggood drill bit advertising video had worked a little better, and I would have earned that projected $500,000, I now wouldn't have to show you another one of those damn cobalt drill bits. Instead, my earnings are pretty close to $5. They might still go up a bit since the video isn't out very long. Maybe I should just leave the advertising part of this channel to the professionals. But where's the fun in that? This is a 10mm cobalt drill bit. And I've set the lathe to 500 RPM. And we're through. Now that was pretty acceptable. So go buy a set of these Banggood cobalt drill bits. They might not be the best in the world, but they're pretty decent. Up next is this 20mm bad boy. And bad is the key word here. You might have seen it in action in one of my previous videos. And since I'm developing a bit of a drill sharpening fetish, you now get to suffer through another grinding session. This drill bit is missing a chunk of metal on this corner. So at least a millimeter has to come off, and since this is the biggest drill I've ever tried to regrind, this is going to be a challenge. I don't know about that. It's a little bit thin over here. Where did I go wrong? I've been trying to grind this drill back into shape. It's more or less working, but it is far from perfect. With the top slide at an angle, I don't have any travel towards the headstock, so I have to use my hammer and bump the slides towards the headstock, which isn't always working out very well because it's hard to control. I'm also a bit annoyed with the little air die grinder because none of my Dremel tool bits fit inside the collet here. So this cut-off disc was my best option for grinding this drill bit. Alright, let's grind a little bit more. Here comes the noise. It all went wrong. I took too much of a cut and the disc broke. The arbor got bent, mangled up against the drill bit, and finally it got pulled out of the collet shock and launched against the ceiling. Oh, and the drill came also loose. It was a big mess and another failure to add to my long list. It doesn't look as nice as I would have hoped, but it feels sharp, so I think I'll grind a bit of a relief and then just use it. I don't have any more arbors to do any more grinding. It'll be fine. The cutting edge is a bit curved, but that's not something I can do much about. Alright, let's grind some relief. That's probably enough. Let's find out if this quote unquote restored drill bit can actually make a hole. I'm running the lathe at 210 RPM. That's not going to work. I think we need more relief. That's no go. Yep, that's another failure. After spending some quality time on the grinder, I'm ready to give this another try. Here's a picture of how it looks now. I did hone it with my favorite Banggood product so far. I hope that helps. Here we go again, still at 210 RPM. Ah, look at that! Lovely! I am the drill doctor! Something's wrong. Feels like the drill is stuck. I ran out of quill. That's the annoying thing about this lathe. It's a very short quill, only 5 centimeters. We're breaking through. Done! Another victory! I think that drill might have been cutting better than the new ones out of the same box. Looks like I need to drill that hole a little bit larger. Don't worry, I'm not going through another grinding session this time. Maybe next week. This one is 23 millimeters, and it's the biggest one out of the same set. I do have bigger drills, but to be honest, I'm not sure where those are. I'm not that well organized. That's only 3 millimeters. That's not a lot. Hopefully it won't be a problem. I have plenty of lube, that helps. Still running at 210 RPM. Drill starts to rotate in the tailstock taper. Hopefully that helps. Not sounding great. Sounds terrible. Horrible. Let's try a higher speed. $350. I guess I should have gone a lot slower. I don't know. 110. Slowest speed. That's fucked up. I resharpened those corners that were doing all the cutting, and I've stoned the taper, so let's go for round 2. Still running 110. 115 actually. For a moment I thought that noise went away, but it's still there. Hey! It goes quiet. Well, isn't that nice? that's it. Those gears make a lot of noise when there's no pressure from the tailstock. I wonder how big that hole is. Let me get my calipers. 2336. That's a bit bigger than 23. That's a case, by the way. My rooster. So now we should have definitely enough room for the boring bar. Yeah. Easy. Now I finally find out if my new boring bar and tool holder actually work. The glue should be dry by now. The part measures just under 5.5 centimeters. So 6.5 centimeters of stick out should be enough. 6.5, yeah, something like this. I'll rotate the tool and make sure it is seated against the set screw that I glued in. Then I tighten up the opposing set screw like this. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then the other three. It's annoying that this cross light is so short, because I need to have the compound at an angle to actually get the boring bar inside of the hole. A bit of dyno droppings. I'll set the lathe for 550 RPM. A little bit of a cut. Here we go. That's a very light cut. A bit more. Look at that, it works. How nice. I just realized I need a little bit more stick out. Otherwise I'm hitting the compound here. Man, those chips are flying. I'm getting bombarded by chips. I got them in my hair. These things are clean. I took a couple of passes, but this is where I'm going to stop for now, because the chips bombardment is just not normal. They're all coming from here. I'm going to reinstall the guard that used to sit on here. I'll probably bypass the safety switch, because that's just annoying. It's my life, I get to do what I want. I didn't get very far today with this project, but well, at least a hole got made. Although a hole is nothing more than a whole lot of nothing. And I guess I now know that my new tool holder works. The boring bar is fine too, but I have more of these, and they've all been fine so far. I guess now I gotta do some editing, make this into a presentable video. Not too long, of course. And then next week I'll continue with cutting some thread. Till then, and to be continued, I guess. Chips everywhere.